Welcome back everyone to my YouTube channel Square Brackets. I am Ravi. So in today's session we are going to build one news application using React Native. So we are going to implement news API and we are going to build this kind of a news application, and I'll be telling you how to create drawer menus, how to switch screens, how to create splash screen, how to use animations. So kind of these things we are going to implement, and this is how the application will look like to you. So in this tutorial, what you are going to learn, let me tell you step by step. So first we'll be creating one splash screen and we'll be implementing the Lottie animation. Then we'll be implementing the home screen. But before that, we also need a draw navigator for the menu so that on whichever option I'll click, it will open the particular page of that particular news category. Then we are going to use the API calls. So I'll be telling you how to use effect, Axios to fetch the news from the news API. So let me just quickly give you one demonstration of how exactly the app will look like. So once you start the application, we'll be starting with the splash screen. Then it will fade out. This is the home page that you'll be able to see. Top headlines in United States. Right now I'm fetching the data from US. Later on you can change the country to something else. Then if you click on this drawer menu, you'll be able to see multiple options here. If I click on any of them, so I'll be able to get the news of that particular category. So the data we are fetching from is news API. You have to make your account there, and the animation we are going to implement is from the Lottie animation. So it's going to be a fun application to learn. So without wasting any time, let's get started. All right, so let's get started now. Now the very first thing we need to do is to set up the project, and in order to set up the project of React Native, we can start with this command npx create expo app at the rate latest, and then we can set that we need a blank template. So this is the very first thing we are going to do. I forgot to mention the name of my app. So it is saying, do you want to keep it as my app? No, I want to make it as news app. Then it is going to set up whatever the things are, and once the project is set up, you will see a news app directory over here, and if you open this news app directory, you will get app.js and everything, whatever the files are required. Okay, after this we'll be creating our own files, like where we are going to put the code. Now once it is ready, cd news app, let's go here, and now let's move to app.js, and this is the by default code available in app.js, and we don't need this code, but instead of deleting the complete thing, I will recommend to delete this part only. Now first let us set up the project directory structure. What are the folders, what are the files we need for this particular project? So in this we are going to create one folder, name it as components. One folder we are going to create as screens. You can name it as screens, because in our application we'll be having multiple screens like splash screen, home screen, and other screens will be there. Let's create another directory, name it as, let's say, you can put navigation in a different file for the drawer navigation thing. So now we have screen, component, and navigation. Three directories are there. Let's go to screens, and there will be three screens mainly in our project. One will be the splash screen .jsx. Second one is going to be home screen .jsx, and third screen is going to be the category page. All right, category page means that in whichever category of a particular category news I want to see, if I want to see the news of sports, or if I want to see the news of education, science and technology, so for that we have this category screen. Then in the components, I'll be having only one component. Let's name it as news card.jsx. So this is going to be the card that I'm going to display on my home screen. All right, so we are all set, and the very first thing we are going to load is the splash screen in our project. So we have to make sure that splash screen should look cool. It should look amazing when you are going to interact with the application first. And in order to use the animations, we are going to set up the Lottie animations with the React Native. So first of all, you need to install one library known as Lottie React Native. Now, once you install this library, you will be able to get a tag known as Lottie. Okay, so first we need to set up this. Let me copy this, paste it here. Now, once it will be installed, then you can use Lottie view. So Lottie view is the name of tag that we have to import. And you can see we are getting the hints of Lottie. Okay. Now, what else we need to import? We'll do import later on, whatever the things are required. So let's do export const, and this is the splash screen is equals to, and in this screen, what I need to do is I want to return a tag. Let's say first we'll take a view tag. In the view tag, you can mention the same styling that you did here, so that I'll put my text in center. That's why text means like the image, the animation, whatever I'm going to use. Let's just copy and paste it here. It is going to give you the error for style sheet. So you can just use style sheet from React Native. It will import style sheet from React Native like this. All right. Now inside this view tag, the first thing we need to add is a tag Lottie view. Okay. And once you add Lottie view, there will be 3 to 4 parameters you can pass. So the very first parameter you need to pass is source. Now, what is the source? Source is actually the animation that you need. Now, from where I'll be getting these animations. So you can easily get these animations from this website. Okay, so Lottie Files is the website from where we are going to get the animation. So first of all, you have to log into this website, and once you log into this, you will be able to see different kind of animations are there, and you can pick any of them. Let's go to dashboard and see what animations are there we can pick. It will be showing you like what other animations you have already used. These are the animations I used earlier, and if I want to use any new animation, I just need to visit that animation. Let's say this time if I want this animation, I'll click here, and once you open this, so you will get a download button. Once you click the download button, it will redirect you to one page, and from that page you have to make sure that you're going to download the Lottie JSON file. Okay, and once you download this JSON, you have to paste this JSON file in the asset directory. So you have to be very sure about this thing. In the assets folder, you have to paste the Lottie animation JSON file that you just downloaded. So simply I'll go here, and in the downloads, I will copy this and do paste. Why it's not able to paste? Let me paste it and then rename this file, and let's name it as Lottie anim.json. Perfect. Now in the source, what you can do here is you can directly write here require that I need // assets and then Lottie animation .json. So this is the very first and important parameter for us, source. Second parameter you can set here is autoplay. Third parameter you can set here is loop. These are the three major parameter you have to set in the Lottie view. Okay. Now, once the tag is ready, everything is set up, you can just give a height and width to this particular tag. So style will be styles dot, let's name it as splash card, and then go here, splash card. What is the height and width of this splash card you want? So I need the width of, let's say, 300, and height is of, let's say, 300 as well. And we are all set to display the Lottie animation on our view. So in order to display this, you have to set the splash screen tag here, component here. So let's see the output now. So this is the first time we are going to execute the application, and the expected output is we'll be able to see the splash screen in the project. So I'm opening up my Expo Code simulator, and you can use Expo Go application. And when you use Expo Go application, make sure that you are connected on same Wi-Fi. The mobile and the laptop both should be on the same Wi-Fi. Otherwise it won't be executing in your machine. So this is a basic kind of requirement we have. All right, so it is setting up the project. Let's wait for it. It is the error view does not exist because when you use the view tag, it was not imported here. So let me just import the view. See, that's it. So this is the very first thing. Now we have the Lottie animation available in our in our mobile application. So this was the first part. Now the second part will be adding up the next thing, that is moving from splash screen to home screen. So after few seconds, might be after 4 to 5 seconds, this will fade out and the next screen, the home screen, should appear. Now we need the home screen, and in order to get the home screen, we already have this available, and we are just simply going to add one heading in the home screen. And once the screen switching will be implemented, I just want to display welcome to the news app or something. So let's quickly export const and name it as home screen is equals to brackets, and that's it. And then return, I just want to return a view. Inside a view there is a text, and inside this text only one thing is written, that is welcome to news app. Okay, that's it. Now, what I want this home screen should appear after, let's say, 5 seconds, 10 seconds or something. So for the first few 3 to 4 seconds, this splash screen will be there, and after that the home screen will appear in front of us. How we are going to do that? Let's go to splash screen here. Now what I want to do is I just want to replace the splash screen with the home screen. So in order to do this thing, we are simply going to use one thing that is like known as stack navigator, and that you can provide that there will be two screen, one is a home and one is a splash. So by default splash will be there, and after few seconds the home screen will appear. So in order to implement that part, what we have to do is we need few packages as well. So there will be one package we need to install. Let me put it in the comment that I need npm install, and then you can simply mention that whenever you need any React navigation package, so you always have to mention at the rate React navigation, then slash. Right now we need a stack. Later on we'll be needing some other packages like native drawer. These packages will also be used. So right now we are using this stack. All right, and in order to use this stack, you just need to copy this and paste in the terminal. Let me stop the server, execute. Now the package is installed, so you can now import this package. So you have to use import curly brackets create, that is stack navigator. You have to write create stack navigator. Now from where we are actually importing this, so we are importing this from at the rate React navigation stack. All right, now this is the create stack navigator that we actually need. Now what it is going to do, let's go to your app. In this app, I'm going to take a variable const stack is equals to create stack navigator and call this. Now once you call, you'll be having one stack here, and how we are going to use it, let's define a navigation container. Now I need one more thing, there is a navigation container, but instead of navigation container we can directly use stack dot navigator, and then close it. Inside stack dot navigator we have to put the screen options, like what are the screen options available for us. Okay, so there will be two options, one is the stack, so that is going to be the first stack, and then there will be another stack of screens. Right now there are two screens. Okay, so the first one, stack dot screen, what is the name of a screen you want? The first one will be the splash screen, the second one is going to be the home screen. All right, And when I execute the splash screen, the name of the component is splash screen. And when you execute this, the name of the component will be home screen. I hope you are able to understand that. First of all, what I need is this stack navigator, and how this stack navigator is going to work. You can directly put this thing right now in the return statement. Okay, I'm using it here, but no, you can directly put this thing in the what I'll say, I can directly put here instead of the splash screen. Just paste it here. Let me just do a little bit of formatting for the code. Okay, now here it is. So in the return statement, you can see that we have this stack navigator screen options. You can provide one screen options here, and in the screen option, as of now, you can just mention that I don't want to show the headers, so just mention header shown false. All right, so now we have a view tag. Inside the view tag, we can see there is this stack navigator. In the stack navigator, we have two screens available. And now what I need is that after few seconds, after 3 to 4 seconds, the splash screen will fade out and the new screen will appear, that is the home. So what you have to do is, in the splash screen, you have to pass one parameter, let's say navigation, one prop you have to pass navigation. And then I'm going to use effect. In the use effect, you can mention the timeout thing, that after few seconds, like how much time you need to fade out this screen. So I will write navigation dot replace. So this is going to replace with home. And how much after 4 seconds I want to replace? Any dependency list? No, that's it. So why we have added this use effect? Because it contains set timeout. Now it is going to replace the by default screen with home in 4 seconds. So after 4 seconds, you will be able to see the navigation will be replaced, the splash will be replaced by home, and that's it. So this was the very first thing we needed to implement. And let's do one more thing, a little bit of styling I need actually. So let's copy this. I'm going to paste it here. It's going to give error for style sheet. Now this view needs to be styled. So that's why I'm copying this and paste it here. And now your text will be in the center. So that's why I did this. Okay, so the text will appear in center. Later on, we are going to definitely change the styling part, but this is just for us to understand how we are going to switch between the screens. All right, npm start. Let's start the application. Okay, let me do the reload and see if there is any error or issue. Yes. Okay, now see, it is saying that you have to wrap your application with the navigation container. Okay, so we definitely need this navigation container. All right, so in order to get this navigation container error removed from your code, you need to install one more package, that is the @navigation native. You can install from that, you will get what error it is giving us. So you can install @react navigation slash native. Okay, this is what we need to install. Additionally, stop the server, paste the command, execute. Now there is one more library we have to import, navigation container. Okay, so now you got this navigation container, and finally you have to wrap your complete stack in the navigation container. So instead of this view, you can directly take navigation container. We don't need the view. We can wrap our application in this navigation container. Now we are all set. Let's try and test again. Execute the server, reload. All right, so here's the splash screen, and that's it. It's gone. Now you can see the splash screen is gone and the news home page is here. Let's do refresh. Let's do reload just to test it out again. 4 seconds later, it will remove this splash and the welcome to news app heading is here. And we are all set with the first part of our application, that we know how to switch between the screens, how after few seconds one screen will disappear and another screen will appear. Now in the another screen, that is the home screen, we have to display the news data. It has to do the API call, it has to collect the data of the news. So in order to get the news data, what we have to do is, instead of this welcome to news app, you can change it with some heading or something. But the main part, the main code is of the fetch news function. So what are the things I need? First of all, I need the news API website. You have to understand how news API website work for us. So let's go here and let me show you this website we are going to use. News API. Okay, and specifically I'm going to fetch the data of United States. You can try some other countries. Let's say if I try India, right now the data of India is not available, so no benefit of using the data for India. You can try another country, let's say New Zealand. If I want to see, no, still not available, might be Canada, China. You can try. If data is not available, that's completely fine. You can, because we are just testing it out. So right now the data is available for United States, and this is the URL. Okay, now if you want to break down this URL, you can take out the API key, put it in a different variable. So I can mention here const API key is equals to, paste it here. I got this API key. You can also mention the country here. Country is by default US. All right. Now what I'll do is, we'll be having one state, const news set news is equals to use state, and it is going to be an array. Why it is going to be an array? Because when I hit this API, I'll get this array of articles. Okay, you can see I'll fetch this articles, and articles will return an array to me. So that's why I need an array. Okay, another thing you need is a loading state. You need is loading. So meanwhile the data is getting loaded, I'll display some activity indicator to you. So that's why we need this. So these are the four variables I have initialized: API key, country, news, and the loading state. That's it. Now let's create a function, fetch news is equals to async, and in this function we are going to build a news URL. So let's create news URL is equals to, let's copy the URL from here. I'll copy the URL till here, backtick, paste. Now, instead of US, I want to put this through my country variable. And similarly for API key, it will be coming up from the API key variable. So this is how my new URL variable looks like. So this is the URL that we have to hit for the API. Let's use a try catch block. In the try, you can get the response from wait, and I'm going to use Axios. So by default, if you don't have Axios, you can install it real quick. You can just use npm install Axios. So you will get the Axios. Okay, now we got it Axios. So let's use get. In get, you have to put this news URL, and that's it. The response will be ready for you. So you can just go to set news variable. In set news, you can mention response.data by default you get, and from the data you need articles. What you can fetch from the news variable is this articles. Okay, this article will return you an array. So this array is available with me in my news variable. Also, I will set loading to false, that should not be loaded anymore. Now what if the error comes or something? So I'll display an error. News API failed to fetch news, and you can display whatever the error is. And we are done with the try catch part. Our response is ready. Now the final thing is, we need to display the news in our home screen. Okay, so instead of this welcome to news app, I will write here, I will simply mention here quotes. Then I'm going to mention quotes will be inside the curly brackets here. So here I'm going to mention top headlines in dollar curly bracket country. Okay, and we are going to style it. So I'll put a style here and name it as styles dot title. So whatever the styling for title I need, I'll give it here. So first thing, now comes the second thing. I want to display the news data finally. News data means that whatever the data is coming up from the news API, let's say it is going to return you the author name, title of the news, description, these things I'll be receiving. So I'll put them in the news card. But meanwhile, first of all, I have to do the conditional rendering that if loading is true, it means the data is available in my variable. So if loading is true, then I want to use act. If the loading is not true, actually, if the loading is false, it means if the loading is false, I'll use activity indicator, set the parameters. What parameters are required? Let's say the size of the activity indicator, I want large. Color of activity indicator, I need let's say red. And what else you can mention? These two things are enough for the activity indicator. And what if the loading is false? It means the data is available for us. So you can use a flat list. So we can use a flat list to render the list of news. Now in the flat list, there are three major parameters. One is data. Data is the news variable. Second parameter is the key extractor. Key extractor means the key that you are going to fetch. So let's put item or index or something. So I'm going to take out the index and I'll use index dot to string to convert my index into the string part. So there are two things we have set up, data and key extractor. Now the third parameter we need is the render item. So there are three major attributes of flat list. One is the data. What is the data? The array that you're going to display in the list. Second parameter is key extractor. In the key extractor, you have to mention the item. Index is not mandatory. Index is optional. Item you have to mention. So it is going to iterate each of the object. It is going to retrieve object by object, and for each object it has to mention one key for each unique element. And finally the render item. In the render item, I'm going to fetch one item at a time. It is going to be the curly brackets, not round brackets. And then finally we need our component news card. And finally I need the news card to display my news. So I'll be passing one news item at a time to this particular card. It is going to return you. It is going to return you a view, and in that view there will be multiple objects. There will be multiple tags. Like the first one is going to display the image. Okay. Second one is going to display, let's say, the text. In the text I'll be mentioning the title of the news, then I'll set the description of the news. So there will be another text. In this we have to mention next, and finally we are going to print this text. Let me mention text. All right, so there will be four things that I'm going to print in one card. The very first thing I'm going to show is the image. Okay, in order to display the image you need source, but it has not imported the image, so let's import the image. In image you have to pass source, inside source you have to pass URI, and inside the URI you have to mention news dot. Now if you'll retrieve one object at a time, this is the object you are retrieving. Okay, and in this object you can see there is a URL to image. Okay, so news is the name of variable. In that, another thing is news, and then we have URL to image. Let's copy this URL to image, paste. So now my image will be displayed. The second thing I need is the text. In this text, I'm going to display you the headline, the title. So I'm going to display the title. In order to display the title, you have to mention news.news.title. Let's go. Next, I want to display the description. So news.news.description. Final thing I want to display is the author. The news.news.author. And we are done. We'll be styling it definitely. We need to style it little bit, because by default the image won't appear to you. You need to set some height width to the image, so we need that. So in order to get this done, we'll use a style is equals to curly bracket. We'll take a styles variable in just a minute. Styles dot, let's name it as img. Okay, and let me immediately copy this code. Just to get started with the style part, I need this code. All right. And now I need to import the style sheet. So the style sheet we need to do is for the image, and this contains the IMG. IMG. So you can put the height and width of the image, whatever the height and width you want. I want 300 pixel of the height, and width is going to be 300%. Sorry, 100%. Okay, so this is going to be the width, and you can even mention border radius. So I want a radius of 3 pixel is enough. So this is how my image will be displayed, and rest of the styling I'll be doing later. Let me just see if I can show you the news we are getting from the API. So this is the news card, and in this news card you have to send the item. So you'll be sending news is equals to curly bracket item, and we are done. I forgot to close the tag. That's it. So let me just quickly go through this code to make you understand what I have done so far. So first of all, there is this function fetch news. So fetch news will be called. We have not called this fetch news function. Definitely we are going to call it. So how we are going to call it? Use effect. In the use effect, I'm going to mention fetch news. I'm going to call this function no dependencies. So I'm going to call this fetch news function. It is going to hit this URL, get the data for you, and from the data I'll retrieve articles. Once you retrieve the articles, I will check if the data is loaded or not. If not, the print indicate activity indicator. If data is loaded, then print this flat list, and flat list is replacement of ULLI for React Native. In HTML you have ULLI, unordered list, ordered list kind of thing. In React Native we have flat list to display the data in list. So it needs three parameter. One is the data, the array. So news is the array. Second is the key extractor. So in React Native, whenever you map an array, you always need to display each list item as unique. So it needs a key for each element. So index is the one key I am assuming, and convert it into string, because by default it's an integer. Then render item is what the data you are going to render, the component you want to render. So I have created one news card component. I am passing one prop news. Inside that news item is what one news object at a time. And we are done. And now we can test it out if we are able to display the news data on our application. Npm start. Let's press I. So first it will open up the splash screen. Let's do refresh. So splash screen will be displayed, then the home screen, top headlines in US. Some error was there because no view tag is here, no text tag is here. So that's why the error is there. Save it. Wait for it now. Top headlines in US is still view. Oh, it's view. It's not views. It's view. Let's wait for it. Top headlines, and that's it. And see, we are done. We just need to style it real quick in a better way. So whatever the way you want to display, and see, top headline in US is written over here. Definitely it should not be here. You have to again do a little bit of a styling, and you know that in order to get this thing done, you can wrap this complete view inside safe area view. Instead of view tag, you can use safe area, so that the top headline in the US won't be overlapping with this top notch. Okay, now a little bit of a styling and we'll be done with the with this particular part. So let's go to title. Title means this thing I'm talking about. Okay, top headlines. Let's go to title. So I want a little bit font size, and remove this align item justify content. I don't want this thing to be centered. Now font size is, let's say, 26 pixel. I need, make it text line center. Then I want it to be let's take margin top 20, margin bottom 20. All right, then font weight should be bold. Font weight is going to be bold, and you can even give margin top, let's say 40. That's good enough for me. You can, if you want, you can display some background color or something. So I'm going to mention a light color like this, top headline, and then you need padding. I need padding. So padding is, let's say 20 is enough. Perfect. So this is my heading, top headline in US, and you scroll down, you will, this will be sticky by default. This will be fixed by default, top headlines in US. So this is how we are able to display the news data in the US. And now comes this card, how you're going to modify your cards. Let's go. There is no container in the card. So by default, I'm going to provide a style name, styles.card. So for this card, first of all, I'm going to give the padding. Let's give it 15 pixel. All right. Now each should be having a margin bottom, suppose 20 pixel. Perfect. Then inside the card, you see multiple things are there. The first one is the styles.news title. Second thing is style is equals to styles.news description. And third thing is the style is equals to curly bracket styles.news author. So these are the things that are available to us. Now, first let's go to image, give margin bottom, little bit spacing should be there of 10 pixel is enough. Yep. Then let's go to news title. For news title, I want to make font weight semi-bold. Semi-bold is not working, might be because of font family. Okay. Then let me give margin bottom 15. Instead of 500, let me give 600. 700. Yeah. And this is the description. Now what else I need is like little bit of font size. If I can increase, make it 20 would be better. Yeah, perfect. So this is how it will look like. Now this is the news card. Now in one last thing I can do here is give each box, if give each news box a shadow or something, or you might give a background color as well. You can give a background color like hash EEE. I hope that will work for us. Yes. So this is how my each news card will look like. So this is the very first thing that we are done with. And one last thing, the author, you can mention author in a little bit of different style. You can make the style italic of the author. This is generally like we do. News author, the font style I'm going to do is italic. All right, see, it's italic, and you can even mention, let's say, font of weight, little bit bolder. So that's it. So we are done with the home screen as well. And here we are with the top headlines in the US. This is the home screen. Now what you can do, a refresh to test it out, how it will look. So this is the splash. After 4 seconds, it goes away. Top headline in news. Fantastic. Now comes the next thing, drawer navigation and the category screen. Let me tell you one thing. Home screen and category is going to be exactly same. See, why same? Because by default, you just need to add one thing to get the data of the categories. Okay. And what is that? Like whenever you need some data for categories, you just need to add one parameter for the category here. So you will receive the category and you just need to change your I'll say this fetch news function URL a little bit. You just need to mention the category. So let me go to this quickly here. And let's go to, these are the categories available: business, entertainment, technology. Let me go to technology and let me show you it adds one extra parameter. Category is equals to technology. That's it. This is the only change that you will see in the category screen. So what we have to do, whenever we are going to call the category screen, we have to make sure that we are passing category. Okay, this is the only thing you have to make sure. Let's go. So when I'm calling category screen, I'm going to pass one prop. Let's name it as route. Okay, how we are going to fetch this route? Route will give you the category. How? Const category is equals to, you just need to mention route, and in the route we can retrieve the parameters. Okay, so the parameters will return you the category, and it should be in like this. I'm going to extract the parameters, and in the parameters I'll be sending one category, and that category I will retrieve here. Now once you retrieve the category, you can see that here end category is equals to dollar curly brackets, and then you need to mention the variable category. That's it. So we'll be able to fetch the data of each category now. And instead of top headlines in country, what I'll read this as sports news, weather news, whatever it is. So I'll mention here dollar curly brackets category news. So it will display to you like whatever the category we have been executing. You can even convert this into uppercase or something. So I'll write here to uppercase. Okay. So this is how my category will look like. All right, done. That's it. Category screen is also ready. We just need to connect this category screen with the drawer navigation so that once I click on any of the navigator, it will redirect you to this category screen. Because by default, as I told you, in the category screen, there is nothing new. Okay, everything is same, just like the previous code. API keys, their country, fetch news, everything will be same. Just the URL is changed a little bit. That's it. And then we are on the last page that we have to integrate the drawer navigation. Finally, we are on the last part to integrate the drawer navigation. Let's go to navigation, create a new file. Let's name it as drawer navigation. Let's name it as, yeah, drawer navigation will be the name JSX. Now, in the drawer navigation, there is one last package I need to install. And let me tell you, it's not mandate to create a drawer navigation if you want to connect, because we have already imported the major two packages here. One more package I need, that is the React navigation drawer. Okay. It's up to you if you want to continue with the same file in app.js, you can continue with the drawer navigation as well. Otherwise, it's up to you if you want to create a different drawer navigation, then we can do that as well. Okay, both the things are same. So let me just connect it with the app.js and then we'll move it to different file. Okay, how we are going to do that? So first I told you we need a package. Let's go here quickly. npm install @react navigation. So we have stack, we have native. Now the third one is drawer. That's it. Copy this, terminate the server, paste it, execute. Now we have this drawer available. Now once you have this drawer, you just need to import create drawer navigator. Okay, from @react navigation drawer. So these are the three major things to import while creating this application: navigation container, create stack navigator, and the drawer navigator. We are done. And now we don't we by default we have this code available. We are going to we can comment it out. Okay, I'm going to comment this code because I'm not going to use this code right now. We are going to replace this code with something else. Let me tell you what. As I told you, we are going to create a drawer navigation. Okay, let's take a variable const. Let's name it as drawer navigator. I'm creating it as a function. Okay, you can copy paste this function in the other file, that is drawer navigator.jsx. So first of all, it needs drawer navigator. So the drawer navigator will get this variable like this const drawer is equals to create drawer navigator. Yeah. Okay, now you can mention drawer dot navigator. First of all, we have to get inside this drawer navigator. Now in this drawer navigator, you have to mention the initial route. Initial route name is home. Okay, not a splash. I'll tell you why. Because this is the code we are going to use as it is, because this code is responsible for the home screen part. Okay, so that will be the main stack I am going to display to you. So first of all, we'll be having the main display, and the main stack will be something like this. I'll call it as main stack. In the main stack, I will copy and paste this code. So remember, this is going to be the always the very first thing. The splash screen and the home screen will always be the very first thing. Okay. First, it will work. Second, when we initially route to the application, the initial route will be the home. Now, what will be the next route? So we have to mention drawer dot screen name is equals to, so there will be one home navigator. Now, what is the component you want to attach? So the component will be home screen. All right. Now, what is the another one? Let me just mention drawer dot screen. Next screen is going to be suppose sports. What is the name of component for sports? The component will be category screen. And what is the name of route you want? That you have to mention. The name of the route means initial parameters. Initial parameters, I'm going to pass only one parameter, that is category. And in the category, I'm going to mention the name of category is sports. You have to make sure that you are picking it from here. Okay. Let's say if it is technology, you have to paste technology. If it is a sports, you have to paste sports. And we are done. Just copy this. This is sports, then technology. Then we have entertainment, science, health. I can just cross check how many of the category we have. One, two, three, four, five, six. How many we have? One, two, three, four, five. I think one for business I need. Okay. So the name of the name that will appear in the application will be sports, business, technology, science, health. What else is remaining? Entertainment. All right, this is the name that will appear in front of you, and this is the category. So the category should be business. Then the category is technology. Technology, why I forgot? Technology. Okay, it is technology. Okay, and other one is the science, other one is health, and then entertainment. And we are done. This is the drawer navigator, and we are all set with two things. One is the main stack, one is the drawer navigator. What is the difference? Drawer navigator is the main navigation on which you click, like a hamburger menu. Once you click, it will open up the navigation for you. But this is the main stack that by default home screen will appear, splash screen will appear, then home screen will appear to you. Now, what do I have to write in this return statement then? So in the return statement, you have to mention navigation container. Inside navigation container, you have to mention main stack. Okay, what you have to mention is the main stack, like this. Now once you mention the main stack, it is going to execute your main stack like it. Okay, and now after this, the final thing you need to do is in the component, you see I have written home screen. You have to mention, after linking them, we just need to make sure that everything is working fine. How we are going to connect them? See, this screen, the home screen, it is attached to this component, that is a drawer navigator. This drawer navigator will display a component in front of you of the drawer navigator, and every name is being attached to a component category screen. In the category screen, I'm passing one parameter, that is category, and category is sports, business, or something. So once it will redirect you to category screen, we are passing the route. Route is the this particular thing I'm talking about. This is the route we are passing. When you passing the route, you need to fit the parameters. From the parameters, I'm retrieving category. And that's it. And finally, we are all set to test it out. And let me just start the application to see if everything is running fine and smooth. Let's open the application. Let's do a refresh. So first, the splash screen should appear. Okay, some error, native part of reanimated. Okay, now we missed one package, and that package is actually related to the animation. So whenever we are like installing these packages, there is one more package we can include, that is the anime that actually includes the animation, that is React Native. There is one React Native reanimated, React Native gesture handler, multiple kind of these parameters available, packages available. So let me just quickly install npm install. I first need to mention here, so that will be for you as well. You can mention npm install, and the name of package is React Native Reanimated. React Native Reanimated. Okay, so this is one of the package that we needed to install, and there will be other packages if required. Then we will install. Might be it will ask you to install another package, React Native Screens. So I just want to make sure that it's not going to give error for these packages now. Let me install them. All right, let's do quick start, reload the application. Let me quickly check if some other packages are still remaining. So once you install all these packages, I have mentioned few more packages over here. You can just go through here. So obviously there is this React Native gesture handler we also need, apart from the animated and the screens. Then you need safe area context. It's not required, safe area context, and then native vector icon. So these are the packages you can install. I'll provide this command to you, so you will be able to get this. Now, if I reload, the one last mistake I have is that should not be a curly bracket, it should be a round bracket. All right, and we are all set. The application starts to display the splash. Then let's wait for the home screen, but nothing appear. Let me reload once to quickly check if everything is fine here. No, basically for this also we needed round brackets. I mistakenly added the curly. All set. All right, now you will be able to see whatever the application was supposed to look like. Let me just refresh, let me just reload the application. The home screen is here, splash screen. It goes away after 4 seconds. Top headline in US, and you can see the top headline in US one by one. If there is a big gap here, I can just go quickly here, give margin top only 20. All right, even 20 is not, I'll say 10 pixel is enough. All right, and now here you see this is the drawer icon I was talking about. So this is coming up from the drawer navigator. Okay, now if you click here, you will be able to see this menu pops up. And now if I click on any of the icon, let's say if I click on technology, it takes you to the technology news. Okay, same for the category screen. This styling needs to be only 10 pixel, and that's it. All right, and we are all set. You can move back to home page. So there will be top headlines again. You can go back to sports. So sports news will appear here. You can go back to entertainment. You can check out the entertainment news. And this is how easy it was to create this complete news application. And we are done with this application. You'll get the code and everything on the Git, and you can put down anything you have in the comments. So thanks for watching this.